Well, hello, it's your old mate Dave Spencer, and back with you once again off on another one of our transport adventures. This time it's day 2 of the 2025 Kelsall Steam Rally, and of course it's absolutely stacked out with lorries. It's the biggest vintage veteran lorry event in Britain, and I dare say it's probably one of the biggest in the world. It's June 2025, and the weather's supposed to have been quite pleasant this weekend, if not hot. But of course the reality is we're in Cheshire. Global warming's not reached here yet, and I had goose pimples yesterday. It rained all day long, and what's it done overnight? It's rained, and what's it doing now when it's cloudy and looks like it's going to rain again? But there is blue, it could come out sunny. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to pick off where I stopped. I just couldn't go on. Back was killing me, etc. So we've just got the one line left of the ERS, then on to the Fodens, and really then I've done the truck side of it. We'll go down and have a look at the steamers and the cars, see if there's any little vans there, have a general poke around. Before you know it, it's going to be Hub-Bus 4 and everything's going to be stonkered off out, and that's when we get in action again. So hope you enjoy. We'll have a chat as we go, I no doubt. And they've still got the bongo drums going. Yes, I know, awful. Don't know why they think people would want to watch that. Anyway, catch up with you later. Shame you don't see all the JCBs out on the roads now. I know they've got a couple that they use, a couple of old ones that they do use for local deliveries. But it was a grand sight. But they said, well, it's no longer practical to have such an elderly current day fleet.
Well done, Jack. You did as well. So all those little ones that are waiting, we are going to have 10 down on the sled. You can't drop off,
Well, the bongo music started once again. I thought they'd have packed it up for the day now. Enough with all the leaflets fluttering. We've now gone and put flagpoles up in front of the lorries. I was talking to one of our viewers yesterday, and he said he loves the narration, and he loves when I go off on one, and you know, all the things we touch on as we go, trying to not to be too near the knuckles. You didn't mention knuckles. I tell anybody I've had gout recently. Yes, big toe and left hand, sort of around the knuckle area, the joints. Sort of crystallizing stuff from within your body, and if you're getting older and a bloke, it's one of these things that is sent to try us. Amazing number of vehicles in the ERF field. Anybody counted them? I don't know. I should have ask them and find out. So Mandy's over in Ireland with our friends there this week, and I was due to be going up to Scotland to film in the next few days, but the weather forecast up there is even worse than Cheshire, so I'll probably head back down south somewhere, perhaps covering Essex and into East Anglia, perhaps calling at Felixstowe to have a look at the docks, or perhaps I'll do something completely different if the weather actually forecast changes and Scotland's going to be very pleasant. Perhaps I will end up that way, I don't know. Very hard to call in Britain, isn't it, the weather? Today not only is it cold, we're getting battered by strong winds. Those are supposed to accompany the heavy rain and giant hailstones that are supposed to be heading our way. Well, at least I won't have to worry about going home and watering the lawns later on today. Probably be about 7 at night time I get home, watch them all going. 4:30 to about 6:30 they will stream out, and then get involved in a massive gridlock. Yesterday I was staggering around with copious quantities of water ready for dehydration prevention. And eventually I had to chuck it all away because it was just breaking my back, and so I wasn't using any. It's a hot cup of tea you needed. Probably going to be the same today. I must admit though, I had a couple of pints of real ale last night when I got home. Medicinal, of course, yes. Well, anybody got a feeling they're being watched? Perhaps they are. If you go down to the woods today. Well, I know I've seen this one a few times because of the operator name, Piltdown Transport, of up near Upfield in Sussex, and Piltdown is where they had the giant hoax, the Piltdown Man, a revolutionary discovery of a chain that took us from the chimps to the Homo sapiens, one more step along the road to the modern man. But of course it was all a con, it was a joke. It took them years to unravel that, and a fairly well-known story locally, and also served by South Down buses there. Got nice shots by the name signs and that, but of course these days more and more people don't actually remember why it was famous. One more variation in living accommodation as the load on the back. The lines of ERFs are multitudinous, and I have walked all their lengths, but we must say it's taken 2 days to do it. Well, when we're all fed up of the bongo drums, there's always the tractors and the lawn mowers going on in the background, which makes it a much more satisfying sound and provides sort of a backdrop that's a little bit more in keeping. What happens to all the old fairground organs? They used to dominate all the steam and truck shows in the old days, and we used to know all the old tunes. I guess it's not in favour with the current computer generation. I've just met a whole bunch of lads that sort of knew about all the things that I'd done, but they didn't know much about me and, you know, who I currently sponsor, which of course is the Northwest Vehicle Restoration Trust. I know we call it the Northwest VRT, then everybody down south thinks we're preserving VRs, so I don't know. Oh dear. Because I'd take it people sort of remember back to, you know, earlier shows, the 70s, 80s, and everything. They're very much the glory days of the bus rally, but not so much the trucking side, which really I think is pretty having its glory days now. Well, we make our way down this, the last of the rows. Now, I was just speaking to one of the lads, and the marshals, the stewards, reckon they had about 260 here yesterday, but there's more booked in for the day, which should probably bring it up to 300. I thought it was more than 300 yesterday. Certainly felt like it by the time I walked up and down all the roads. And then after we've finished on the ERF field, we'll just go around the Fodens. That's got some tidy machines, but it always sort of pales into insignificance when you compare it with the ERF attendants. It's a shame, isn't it? We can get the rest of Cheshire's finest along. Even perhaps invite the Roberts Bakery band along, which was the Foden band, I think, originally. And it'd be nice to have them, a little bit more traditional and with an obvious connection. Well, it seems to be a great number of vehicles here from Wales, and here we have one that's not from Wales because it's from the other end of the country. What's that place up north? Carlisle? Yeah. What's past Carlisle? Anybody ever been there? Yes, it's Scotland, of course. So that's a long way to come, isn't it? All the way down to Cheshire. But perhaps it's actually not kept up there. You never know, do you, really? I wonder. It'd be nice to know, wouldn't it, really? This is done up for an haulage contractor down in Widdicombe on the moor, down in Devon. A lot of people like Devon, don't they? Yeah, it's most people like Devon because it's a long way away. You try driving in Devon and Cornwall in the summer. God, no wonder people get fed up with tourists. I know, absolute nightmare getting around down there, isn't it? Anyway, nice to see one of them's escaped. Yes, he's having a reprieve. He's allowed to come and play with everybody else up in Cheshire. Well, we're back to Wales again, and a nice one from Cardiff here. No, it's called irony. Yes, it's sort of form of humour. Yes, sartorial humour. But it's so obvious that it's from Scotland that you don't need to say it, you see, and do the opposite. Oh, never mind. Humour was different when I was young. The Goon Show and all that, Much Binding in the Marsh, the Clitheroe Kid. Oh, classics of all time. Yes, Tony Hancock, of course. A tortured, a demented soul, wasn't he? Really just like Spike Milligan. The Tears of the Clown. The trouble with some of these is that if you get the exposure so it all looks nice and bright and cheerful, then you lose the sort of top bit of the cab. A difficult colour combination to effectively portray on film. Very smart machine. I bought some truck cleaning products last night. I'm going to have a go at my little IQ and see how much I can get that embellished. See if I can get it to be as smart as some of the wonderful lorries are on the site this weekend. It's a shame the weather hasn't shown them off in their full glory, but we did have sunny intervals yesterday, and I snatched as many still shots then as I could. This wagon very much celebrating the history of the ERF, and nicely done with the wrap of the paint jobs, and recalling a day when Britain had many lorry builders and of course bus and car manufacturers with names perhaps too numerous to start wading through now, but give us a couple of pints and a bit of paper and I'll start jotting them all down for you. Yes, where are we going to go? Yes, Rose Hillmaster and Scammell Highwayman. We could go on. I'm not going to go for it. If you're watching, you're interested and you know all that anyway. But isn't it great to be here surrounded by it all? Super. Oh, just to show that the Kelsall event is not prejudiced. They've even let entrance in from over the border in Yorkshire. Yes, God didn't put the Pennines there for nothing, did he, really? And no, they're joking. Of course, we sponsored the Heart of the Pennines bus rally for many years with Tony Blackman, and those, gosh, it all seems a long time ago. Hardly any of you probably remember because you're all far too young. And over the years we've supported events such as the Heart of the Pennines, and also we've been down and supported the Pops at Barlaston and Staffordshire at the Wedgwood Centre, and more latterly we support the Northwest Vehicle Restoration Trust. Thinking the kiddies, what would a kiddie think if he was into lorries? It would be thoroughly sort of overwhelming. If it's overwhelming for adults, what would it be like if you were a little lad just sitting out on the hobby, perhaps collecting a few models of the lorries or the buses, and later perhaps even getting a job in the industry.
Got your towels on? That's good, keep that on. We're going to turn in a second, 14 tons. That 14 tons, I'm going to say 14 tons along. So everything's going that way, boxes. Put it all, you're happy with this tall?
Now the old tractors and lawnmowers field is going great guns at the moment, I think. Sounds like they're all having a good time. Perhaps we need to drop in there and see what happens. I don't think I've ever done that. I've been in there when they've had old agricultural machinery, but perhaps that's given way in the face of modernity.
This is a great horsepower, so we don't have to put the weight on too fast. But then we have bigger tractors, so we have to pile the weight on faster. So we try and tell you a little bit about the tractors as we go along. But it is not to be afraid of them. There's a section in the man of the cab, rules the game. Stick along through the carrier. We have now got Pete with his ID code, the little 7.5 tonner. It is pretty standard here, there's nothing really too static. It is in the pipeline, so this is really as
trio, and it's good to see something sort of badged up from Manchester. And we used to have the Eaton Park rally, which is primarily buses but also included trucks, and that did give us an opportunity to see vehicles that originated around Manchester area.
So a good pull, the weight was quite a way up onto him. So I think he's going to be really happy with that one. So we're just going to return the weight back to the start. So we have Nickelman coming out next.
Indeed, it's one of the exhibitors passing said, it's a lovely shot, it's a lovely wag, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Well, there's a pair of ERS to be absolutely proud of. If there was a sort of prize, we have the gooseberry fairs in Cheshire. Well, they've nearly died out now, but we were one of the last areas to have it, and they had all sorts of classes, singles, doubles, and you could have had a doubles, and it's the heaviest gooseberry, and then the doubles would be the heaviest pair. And great competition around Cheshire with that, and most of them, the meetings, the shows took place in pubs. I know where I placed this one. Sounds a relief. Even down here where it's quiet, there's certainly no no crowds, and they're going to push you. You've got a difficulty getting through the throng. Fairly easy, but they're still going walk straight in front of you. Why? I think it's the height of ignorance. People say, oh, they don't know. Well, you know, what's them little round bits stuck in your eye sockets then? Kids don't walk now, they get pulled around on trolleys, and I noticed yesterday somebody had a pushchair with a dog in it. Well, the wind's really bashing us around here, right? Because I've already sort of been out, climbed a mountain and got rid of all the stale air. But we've done it now, we've had the wind, we've all had a bit of a freshen, so get rid of it.
It also brings up
Oh no, somebody's got blasted music on. so we'll have to sort of shuffle off fairly quickly to get away from the music sounds, otherwise we'll never be able to put anything on YouTube. We'll have to sort of dub over it. Well, we've now completed our trip around the ERF fields. We're now going to turn our attention to the other half of the family, to the Fodens, and the spot's very windy, but at least we haven't got the bongo drums going on, which is good. I am very thankful for that. Another wagon that really seems to epitomise that age in our history, and all sheeted up. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? I don't think I could get that on my drive, and I don't know what Mandy'd say if I took it home, but Nick, it's just makes your hairs stand on end. It's just so glorious. Every detail about it just spot on.
Yeah? Is that your wagon hard stop?
Well, I think I'm going to go back when I've done the Fodens. I'm going to pop back to the car and put some more clothing on. I'm feeling a little bit nippy at the moment, but I can soon cure that.
So you keep them right?
I did take still photos yesterday afternoon on my way back out when I was very tired, but it seemed a very easy thing to do, to take a few stills, and I did it while the sun was in a good position. So we've got that covered. Seems to be a few gaps in the ranks now though. All the fun of the fair here, in a very utilitarian state of construction, and you wouldn't want to have an argument with that coming down the road, would you? What a wonderfully turned out wagon that is, and we've just got a big caravan at the back. Embellished by plenty of applications there, the old cleaning products, and a bit of spit and polish, a bit of elbow grease, and that's what you get, and you've got to keep it up forever. The splendid Mickey Mouse cab, and what a statement to British engineering and industry, and again absolutely wonderful turnout. You could stand and admire that all day, but I'm afraid it's too cold to do that. I'm going to really load up when I get a car. I'd rather feel too hot than too cold. Plenty of examples of the evolution of the Foden throughout its history, although there are some huge gaps, I suppose, now. Such a shame the Fodens come in such great numbers as the ERS. Anybody thinks I've dried up for a minute, it's just because I'm so cold. Super job is achieved in preservation for a lot of these wagons, and hard to think that that actually ever looked quite as good as that, even when new. Absolutely sparkling, gorgeous. Sometimes when we gaze through the archives at the online transport archive, and we get to the sort of motor sections, you get all manner of machines there, and I've probably taken a lot of shots myself in places that I haven't always known what they are, but just imagine the industry that this is working in. I also realised I saw a nice layout for a sort of quarry scene on one of the stands I walked past. I must take a picture, because at Gaydon last week there's very popular dioramas there representing the environment that they actually worked in. Well, I mentioned Barlaston in Staffordshire because that's where we sponsored the Potteries Omnibus Preservation Society's rally in Staffordshire, and this one is from Barlaston, and Bassett's. Two great names from Staffordshire, doesn't it? Absolutely, just right, isn't it, really? In working condition, not over restored or anything. No, great. Another vehicle done up with nicely camouflaged living accommodation in the back as a sheeted load, and gorgeous condition, not too over the top, and the general effect is absolutely spot on. Magnificent job. Not many vehicles badged up from anything from Merseyside, and this one's got an Aintree phone number on it. Happy day. Sponsors of the Northwest Vehicle Restoration Trust, we are proud to be associated with Merseyside, and of course my adopted father and several generations before him all came from Liverpool.
Oh, that's why someone freckles nipples, mate. Callum would have been
Oh no, the wretched bongos started again. This is certainly one of the superstars of the show. Absolutely gorgeous. Every inch of it gleaming away. An enormous restoration, I should think. We've seen wagons from places where I used to live, and this one's from where we do live, not nearby. Summerford, just down the road. Well, there's a few wagons that are, have extended the show a little bit up the hill here, and these definitely weren't here yesterday, or certainly didn't. I don't think they were in this position. So some really nice classics here, or if they swap them around, put some goodies at the front. Yeah, it's the trouble being out amongst the public. They've plonked some of the classics right in the main thoroughfare. Bit of a pain. Well, I just had a kid jump off something and jump right down onto my ankle. Really hurt me. And his parents just laughed and went away. Absolutely unbelievable. Can't believe people are that ignorant and awful at this show. I will make a point of mentioning it to them. Absolutely astonished. Absolutely astounded. So I'm now hobbling around the show with ankle injury. Well, hurts a lot. I don't think he's broken it or anything, but it wasn't a little kid. This is about 9, 10, 11, big chunky thing. So there's a few stone there, sort of landing at speed on your ankle. Well, that's something treading on it. You just sort of, it's more like crush. This one's just sort of sideways on contact, should we say. I'm certainly no expert on steam engines of many sorts, really. A bit more interested in the sort of wagons when they are working, and actually perhaps a lot of the Fodens, and very much to the fore, particularly in the era of trams, which very much is an interesting hobby. So they creep into it, yes.